Welcome to Midnight Affairs Tales, where secrets don't sleep. Tell us where you're watching from, then buckle up. Chapter 1 starts now. Her tearful speech about his PTSD went viral. Millions believe she was a grieving, abused wife. But behind that sympathy, a life insurance policy, a hidden lover, and one man who came back from war with a plan. Wait, hit that like button to support the channel, and subscribe if you never want to miss another jaw-dropping tale. We drop news stories every week that'll leave you speechless. To everyone who's already subscribed, sending you heartfelt love and thanks. Now, let's dive back into the story. The airport was quiet when Sergeant Cole Walker stepped through the automatic doors. No welcome sign, no family hugs, just the low hum of vending machines and flickering fluorescent lights. His boots hit the tile like thunder. He wasn't supposed to be here yet. His deployment had been extended, at least, that's what the Army told his wife in the official notice. But the mission had changed. Classified. Quick exit. No time for formal returns. Cole hailed a cab. The driver didn't ask questions. The guy took one look at his uniform and nodded, like he knew this man had seen too much. Maybe he had. As the taxi turned into his neighborhood, something felt off. His house, his actual house, was a different color. New mailbox. A strange sedan in the driveway. Cole leaned forward. "This is 1047 Rockwell, right?" he asked. The driver nodded. "That's what the GPS says." Cole got out. The air smelled like pine and fresh paint. He walked up to the door and froze. The doormat was gone. In its place, a floral rug that read, "Welcome home, baby." He knocked. A man opened the door. Shirtless. Confused. "Can I help you?" the guy asked. Cole's jaw tightened. "This is my house." "No, it's not." Rachel's voice floated in from behind the stranger. "Babe, who is it?" When she stepped into view, her face drained of color. She dropped the mug in her hand. Coffee splattered across the hardwood. "Cole." He didn't blink. Surprised? She stared like she was seeing a ghost. "You're? How?" "I got out early," he said flatly. "New orders." The shirtless man took a step back. "Wait, this is your husband." Rachel didn't answer. Cole turned and walked away without a word. Not yet. He needed facts, not rage. That night, he slept in a motel across town. Phone off, weapon close. At 3:27 a.m., he connected to a private military server through an encrypted hotspot. Pulled up his off-site backups. 2 years ago, before deployment, he installed hidden security cameras. Paranoia, some said. But he believed in redundancy. The footage wasn't live anymore, but the cloud archive? Still intact. He clicked play. June 14th. Rachel kissing the same shirtless man in their kitchen. June 22nd. Him holding Lily, calling her princess. July 3rd. Rachel burning a box labeled Cole's stuff in the backyard fire pit. His hands didn't shake. His breathing didn't change. He just watched. Then he clicked over to something worse. A YouTube link. 3.2 million views. Title: Army Wife Speaks Out. Living with a PTSD Monster. Thumbnail: Rachel in tears, holding Lily on her lap. He hit play. "My husband. He's not the same man he used to be," she said, eyes glossy, voice trembling. "He came back from his last tour, and he hit me. More than once. I had to protect my daughter." Cole paused. There was no last tour. He never came back before this. And then the words that sealed it. "He threatened to kill himself if I left. I recorded him once. It still haunts me." He clicked through the comments. Sympathy. Support. Sponsors. She turned her lie into a platform. But she messed up. One detail. She said he came back in April. He'd never been back. April? He was 6,000 miles away in a secured compound in Turkey, embedded with NATO advisors. The Army had logs, flight records, body cam timestamps. She didn't think he'd survive. She bet on it. Over the next 2 days, Cole went dark. Full ghost mode. He accessed every private account she forgot to secure. Phone backups, GPS history, sync devices. She drained his savings in increments. $1,200, $2,000, $5,000. Transferred to an account in her maiden name. She sold his truck, canceled his health insurance, filed for divorce in absentia using a forged signature. Claimed he was mentally unstable, unfit for fatherhood. She sent court documents to an address in North Carolina, a base he hadn't been stationed at in 4 years. This wasn't panic. This was premeditated. And now it was war. Cole didn't go to the police. Not yet. He needed a strategy. He needed a team. He met with 2 people, Jake Morales, his former unit's comms expert, now running private cybersecurity gigs in LA. Tessa Lynn, a defense attorney who owed him her life after he pulled her brother out of an IED ambush in Kandahar. Jake set up a private server and started scrubbing metadata from the videos. Tessa began building a shadow file on Rachel, court dates, asset movements, power of attorney abuse. "You're sitting on a goldmine of evidence," she told him. "But we need one more thing to burn her." "What?" "Public exposure. Irrefutable. Viral." Cole stared at the frozen frame of Rachel's video. The tears. The lies. "Then we give the people what they want." On the morning of day 5, he stood outside the courthouse where she filed for full custody. Black suit. Clean shave. Calm eyes. Rachel walked up the steps with her new boyfriend, public now, apparently. She saw Cole. Froze. He pulled out his phone and hit play on a video. Rachel's voice. "He's not going to make it back. When that check clears, we start fresh." The boyfriend's face went pale. "Where did you get that?" she hissed. Cole smiled coldly. "I never left." 3 hours after the courthouse face-off, Rachel's boyfriend, Marcus, was packing a suitcase. Fast. Sloppy. Shirt half-buttoned. Eyes darting. "You told me he was dead," he snapped, shoving clothes into a duffel. Rachel paced the bedroom, barefoot, clutching her phone. He was supposed to be. The army said. He had audio, Rachel. "You said you deleted all the backups." "I did. I wiped everything on the home server." "Clearly not." Marcus zipped the bag. "I'm out. He's dangerous. You saw his face. He's not just back. He's coming for blood." Rachel grabbed his arm. "You walk now, and I will bury you with me." Marcus yanked away and left without another word. The front door slammed like a gunshot. Cole watched it all happen in real time. Jake had installed a temporary signal piggyback on Rachel's home Wi-Fi through a known smart fridge exploit. Idiots always connected appliances to unsecured networks. Through that, Cole accessed her Nest cams, laptop mic, and location pings. He sat in a van down the block. Plain white exterior. Blacked out windows. No logos. Inside, for monitors, 3 drives, a silent generator. One-man war room. "Marcus is cracked," Jake said over comms. "Guy's running scared. Want me to track his card trail?" "No. Let him go. He's not the target." Cole tapped the keyboard. Up came Rachel's private messages. She'd already texted her mother. Cole showed up. "He's alive. Don't say anything. I'm handling it." He marked the message and filed it. This wasn't just revenge anymore. This was containment. Rachel was trying to plug leaks in a ship that had already sunk. At 7:03 p.m., Rachel went live on Instagram. Sitting on the couch. Eyes red. Hoodie on. "Hey guys, so, something really unexpected happened today." Cole clicked the stream. Nearly 10,000 viewers and rising. My abuser, showed up out of nowhere. He's trying to manipulate people into thinking I'm a liar. I'm not. I would never fake something that painful. The tears came on cue. "Need your support more than ever." Jake muttered, "She's good." Cole leaned back in his chair. "She's a manipulator, not an actress. Watch this." He scrubbed through last year's surveillance footage. Found it. Rachel practicing crying in front of a mirror with her phone held up. Rehearsing lines. He screen recorded the mirror rehearsal. Spliced it side by side with tonight's live stream. It was almost identical. He smiled. Public sympathy was her weapon, but he was about to make it blow back in her face. The next morning, Cole met Tessa at a coffee shop across town. She handed him a brown envelope. "This is what we've got on her so far. Custody fraud. Forged POA. Restraining order filed with no supporting medical documentation. She submitted a doctor's note from someone who was arrested last year for selling scripts. Enough to charge? Maybe. But cops don't want to touch it yet. It's too messy. You know how these domestic optics are. They'd rather let it sit. So we make it messy for her. Tessa leaned forward. You want to go public? Not just yet. I want to dig deeper first. There's a risk if you wait. She's trying to spin this. I'm not worried about spin. You should be, Tessa said, pulling out her phone. Because she just filed an emergency motion. Full custody. Claims you're stalking her. Cole's face went blank. Then calm. When's the hearing? Tuesday. Good. Why is that good? He slid a flash drive across the table. Play that in court. Monday night. 36 hours before court. Rachel met with her lawyer in a downtown office suite. The attorney, a tall woman with rimless glasses and sharp posture, typed on a laptop while Rachel talked fast, pacing like she was on trial already. I want to hit him first. Make him look like the aggressor. We've already filed the protective order. No, I mean press. Media. I want to control the narrative. I've got followers. I can do interviews. Slow down. The lawyer paused. This isn't PR. This is custody. You want full control of your daughter's future, not a headline. Rachel rolled her eyes. Don't act like they're separate. Perception is everything. Cole watched all of this from a silent feed inside her lawyer's smart TV. Audio was weak, but lip reading was easy when you've been trained for battlefield surveillance. She wasn't afraid. She was cornered. And like any cornered liar, she was about to overreach. Court day. Tuesday. Family court, Los Angeles. Rachel walked in looking polished. Pearl earrings, black blouse, no makeup. The worn-down mom aesthetic. Cole walked in behind her. No lawyer this time. Just a crisp gray suit, military pin, and Lily's stuffed animal in his hand. Rachel's lawyer shot him a warning glance. He said nothing. The judge was a middle-aged woman who looked like she'd seen it all. She reviewed the file, sighed, then looked up. Mrs. Walker, you're requesting sole custody and a permanent restraining order based on abuse claims? Rachel nodded. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Walker, do you have representation? No, ma'am. Do you wish to make a statement? Cole stepped forward, handed the clerk a USB drive. I'd like to submit new evidence. Videos, audio recordings, metadata. The judge inserted it into a court laptop. The screen lit up with two windows side by side. Rachel's crying live stream. And the rehearsal footage. The court was silent. Is that you? The judge asked. Rachel's face went white. That's fake. Deep fake. That's not me. Cole spoke calmly. The original file was time-stamped, Your Honor. Unedited. Same phone. Same clothing. The full footage is on that drive. The judge pressed pause. This is serious. Mrs. Walker, do you have any forensic evidence to disprove this? Her lawyer stood. We request time to review. Denied. The judge snapped. You came to court making criminal accusations. This man served our country. If you falsified abuse claims, you don't just lose custody. You lose credibility. Rachel began to speak, but the judge raised her hand. Temporary custody is suspended pending a full investigation. Both parties will submit to independent psychological evaluation. Mr. Walker, you may have supervised visitation. Mrs. Walker, you are ordered not to post or stream anything involving your daughter until this case is resolved. Cole didn't smile, didn't flinch. He picked up the stuffed animal, nodded to the judge, and walked out. Tessa met him on the steps. That was brutal. It's not over. No, but you just shattered her armor. How far are you planning to take this? He looked out over the city, all the way to the core. Back in her car, Rachel exploded. She slammed her hands against the steering wheel, screamed. She didn't see the black SUV parked 2 rows behind. Inside, Jake recorded the audio. She's losing control, he said into the mic. Cole replied. Let's take the next piece. Which one? Money trail. Then the boyfriend. Jake nodded. Going surgical now. That night, Rachel's Venmo and Zelle logs were leaked, quietly. Not viral yet. just enough to start a trickle. Payments to counseling services that didn't exist. Transfers to a shell account with Marcus's name on it. Within hours, an anonymous Reddit thread appeared. Influencer mom lied about dead husband. Real soldier returns, exposes everything. Upvotes piled up. Screenshots spread. YouTubers grabbed the scent. The internet was shifting. And Cole wasn't done. Marcus hadn't slept in 36 hours. He kept the TV on, flipping channels like the noise might drown out the spiral in his head. Cole Walker was alive. Back. Watching. And Rachel had lied about everything. Abuse. Death. Even the house deed. The weird thing was, no one had called him yet. No cops. No lawyers. No press. Just silence. And that made it worse. When his phone buzzed at 7:03 a.m., he nearly dropped it. Unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. "You're being followed," a voice said. "What?" "They're watching you." "You know what? Who the hell is this?" The line clicked dead. Marcus stared at the screen. No caller ID. No trace. And outside, across the street, a man in a hoodie leaned against a power box. Staring. Still. Cole had no intention of threatening Marcus. He didn't need to. Men like Marcus cracked under weight. They built themselves. Fear of getting exposed. Fear of being used. Fear of being seen. And the worst part was, Rachel wasn't calling him either. She was already protecting herself. Cole sat inside the surveillance van 3 blocks away, reviewing Marcus's transaction history. Jake's backdoor into the bank API gave them everything. "Here's the flow," Jake said, spinning his monitor. Rachel opens a shell LLC under her maiden name, Emberfield Consulting. She routes all those Venmo therapy payments through it. From there, she wires the money to a Marcus J. Doyle personal checking account. Total. Jake did some quick math. $72,300. Over 10 months. Cole nodded. She's laundering sympathy money. Pretty much. And here's the kicker. She claimed on her custody affidavit that she had no financial support. Claimed she was in debt. Applied for government assistance. Cole's eyes narrowed. That's fraud on 2 levels. Yup. Cole looked at the map. And she's still getting monthly donations through that PTSD nonprofit. Want me to take it offline? Not yet. Let her keep digging. That afternoon, Rachel sat in the living room, eyes glued to her laptop. Her publicist, a smug 20-something named Kyle, was on Zoom with her. "We need to get ahead of this," Kyle said. "You go live now, lean into the attack. Frame him as a disturbed ex trying to ruin your life. Mention Lily. That always hits hard." Rachel bit her lip. "But if he drops more videos, then we call it digital stalking. Say he's violating your privacy. We push for a takedown." She nodded slowly. "Okay, I can do that." As soon as the call ended, she opened Instagram Live. "Hey everyone. I'm shaking right now. You've probably seen that Reddit thread. It's lies. Twisted, malicious lies. My ex, my abuser, is trying to destroy me because he knows he can't control me anymore." Cole watched from his laptop in silence. She was good, but the truth was better. He clicked a folder labeled Emberfield Evidence and uploaded everything. LLC filings, wire transfers, Rachel's public statements about being broke, all dated, clean, sourced. Within minutes, Reddit was on fire again. She said she was broke. Why is she sending $10K to her friend monthly? This influencer just got caught stealing PTSD donations. Her daughter's dad was declared dead by her, while she collected speaking fees. Then came the first YouTube breakdown video. Rachel Walker, the grifter exposed, documented lies. Tessa called 5 minutes later. "You just threw gasoline on the internet." Good. Bad news. CPS just called. Rachel's lawyer filed an emergency request to block your visitation. Why? She claims your Reddit exposure is proof you're harassing her. She wants to reframe this as cyberbullying. Cole stayed calm. "We can counter that. Only if we can prove the account leaks weren't yours." "They weren't," Cole said. "They were anonymous. And the files? All publicly sourced. You need to be careful. Courts don't like public pressure during custody disputes." That's why we show them she's monetizing it. Meanwhile, Marcus started unraveling. He'd been watching the Reddit chaos from his apartment. The bank screenshots, the LLC leaks, every thread naming him. And none of them were posted by Cole. It was like the internet itself turned on Rachel. Turned on them. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. This time, a text. Come clean. Or be dragged with her. Attached was a screenshot of his name on a money wire. Dated. Traceable. He dropped the phone like it burned. That night, Marcus drove to a nondescript office building. Top floor. Suite 904. Lynn and Morales legal advisors. Tessa opened the door. You here to confess or negotiate? She asked flatly. He hesitated. Both. She let him in. Cole was waiting inside. Marcus froze. Look, man, I didn't know you knew. Marcus sank into the chair. She told me you were abusive. That you were never coming back. She showed me a fake death notice. Cole said nothing. She said the military declared you unstable. That she needed protection. Jesus, I believed her. And the money? She said it was clean. Speaking fees. Supporters. Said it was to pay legal bills. Jake walked in with a laptop. You signed a contract with Emberfield Consulting last year, he said. Received monthly wires labeled Nonprofit Outreach Services. Want to explain what services you provided? Marcus stared at the screen. I didn't know what she was doing. I thought it was legal. Cole leaned forward. Then prove it. Help us bury her. Or you go down with her. The next day, Marcus signed a sworn affidavit, admitting to receiving funds, naming Rachel as the orchestrator, acknowledging he witnessed her practicing video statements, staging bruises, and burning Cole's belongings for optics. Tessa reviewed the document. If we file this with the DA, it's game over. Cole nodded. Not yet. One more leak. Rachel went live one more time that night. Panic in her eyes. Desperation in her voice. I know people are trying to tear me down, but I will not stop fighting for my daughter. I've been through hell. You don't know what it's like to live with trauma. The feed cut out mid-sentence. Across Reddit, a new video had just gone live. Marcus Doyle comes clean. I helped Rachel Walker fake her ex's death. In it, Marcus read the entire affidavit. On camera. Unedited. He looked broken. Sincere. The views climbed fast. News blogs picked it up within an hour. Rachel's PR agent dropped her. Her sponsorships vanished overnight. Donors pulled out of her nonprofit. By morning, the hashtag Rachel Walker Lies was trending. And Cole, he just sat back and waited. He wasn't done. He was just getting warmed up. Rachel didn't sleep that night. Her phone was melting down, notifications nonstop. Sponsors gone. Brand emails unread. Her name trending for all the wrong reasons. She turned on the TV. There it was. A local news segment. Mom accused of faking military husband's death for donations. And there was Marcus. On camera. Ashy-faced. Apologizing. Reading the affidavit like a man on trial. Rachel stood frozen in the living room, mascara smudged, phone in hand, as the anchor closed the segment. This developing story may have serious legal implications, including fraud, defamation, and custody reversal. Authorities are reviewing new evidence this morning. She dropped the remote. Across the city, Cole stood outside Lily's school. Not to confront. Not to intimidate. Just to watch. Parents filtered in with kids. Some glancing at their phones. Some whispering. A few looked toward him and whispered louder. He didn't flinch. He spotted Lily walking up, clutching her teacher's hand. Rachel wasn't with her. A different woman, probably a friend or sitter, walked a few feet behind, eyes darting like she was scanning for danger. Lily saw him. Stopped. Her teacher bent down. Sweetie? Lily didn't speak. She stared at Cole for a moment. Not smiling. Not crying. Just recognizing. Then she turned and walked inside. Cole exhaled slowly. He wasn't sure if she remembered him. He wasn't sure if she still thought he was dead. But she saw him now. And that was enough for today. Back at the house, Rachel was spiraling. She tore open drawers. Deleted files. Wiped her laptop. The nonprofit's website? Gone. Emberfield Consulting? deregistered. But the internet wasn't forgetting, and the feds weren't ignoring. Jake texted Cole an alert. IRS just flagged 2 of her accounts. Money laundering probe. She's officially in trouble. Cole didn't smile. He was past that. This wasn't about winning anymore. It was about stripping every lie down to the bone. Meanwhile, Tessa filed for a custody emergency review. She handed Cole the paperwork that afternoon. "We've got 2 things going in our favor," she said. Marcus's affidavit and the court of public opinion. It's not official, but judges do read the headlines. "Are we pushing for full custody?" Tessa hesitated. "Honestly, if you want to protect Lily, maybe not yet." "Why?" "She's confused. That little girl has spent years thinking you were gone. Now she's back in school hearing you're alive and that her mom's a liar. If we rip her away from everything at once, we just traumatize her more." Cole nodded. Silent. "Processing. We need to prove you're stable. Safe. And most of all, not like what Rachel said you were." Cole pulled something from his coat pocket. A drawing. Crayon. Worn edges. Old. A picture Lily drew the night before his last deployment. Her. Him. A plane. He looked at it for a long moment, then handed it to Tessa. "Let's do this right." Later that evening, a new player entered the board. A knock on Rachel's door. Not police. Media. Local affiliate. Young reporter. Bright smile. Mic in hand. "Mrs. Walker, we're doing a story on military families and online fraud. Do you have a moment?" Rachel froze. "Excuse me. We reached out to your former nonprofit sponsors. Several confirmed they've pulled funding based on allegations. Get off my property." "Did you fake your husband's death, Mrs. Walker?" She slammed the door. Across the street, another car clicked a shutter. Then another. And another. She was a headline now, and Cole made sure the world knew it. Jake's next report hit hard. He met Cole in the van, holding a printed sheet. "Phone dumped from Rachel's cloud," Jake said. "Found deleted texts." "Anything new?" "Yeah. She was in contact with a defense therapist 6 months ago, sent false affidavits claiming you were unstable. Said you threatened suicide if she left." Cole looked up. "That's how she got the emergency POA." "Exactly. Therapist's license was suspended last month for filing fake reports in 2 other custody cases." Cole scanned the text log. One line stood out. "Just need this to go through long enough to collect the check." He circled it. That was it. The motive. The setup. The intent. Back at school, Lily stopped drawing in class. Her teacher noticed. So did the counselor. She didn't speak during group time. Didn't raise her hand. Finally, the counselor sat down beside her. "Hey Lily, want to talk to me about anything?" Lily looked up slowly, then whispered, "Mom said my daddy's in heaven. But I saw him." "Where did you see him?" "At the fence. He was watching." The counselor made a note. "Quiet. Careful." Then walked straight to the principal's office. The next morning, Rachel got a call she couldn't ignore. It wasn't a lawyer or media. It was Lily's school. "We'd like you to come in." "Is something wrong?" "We think Lily needs someone to talk to. She's been withdrawn. Said some things that concern us." Rachel almost dropped the phone. "What kind of things?" "She says she saw her father, and that you told her he was dead." Silence. Then, "I'll be there in 20. Rachel showed up disheveled, sunglasses on, hair tied back. Cole was already there, sitting beside the counselor. Calm. Steady. Rachel stopped dead in the doorway. "You son of a... Let's keep this civil," the principal said firmly. "We're here for Lily." Rachel's voice cracked. "He's manipulating her." "She saw him," the counselor said gently. She recognized him. Rachel turned to Cole. "You're poisoning her against me." Cole stood slowly, held up the drawing. "She made this for me. The night I left. She hasn't forgotten. She just had to remember." The principal spoke next. "Given the confusion, we're requesting joint supervised counseling for both parents, with a third-party observer." Rachel's jaw clenched. "You can refuse," the counselor said. "But if you do, we'll need to report Lily's emotional condition as part of the custody hearing." That was the nail. Rachel sat down, silent. Outside, Cole stood under the gray sky. Jake called. "Check your email." I just sent you the medical insurance docs. What am I looking at? A payout. Cole opened the PDF. $500,000. Rachel listed him as deceased. Filed a fraudulent death claim with a military life insurance partner. Forged paperwork. Collected. Spent. Filed 3 months before your return, Jake said. Cole stared at the number. It was never about freedom. It was about the money. And now she was about to lose everything. Rachel hadn't left her house in 4 days. Her bank account was frozen. Her face was on every clickbait site from LA to New York. She couldn't check social without seeing her own fall on loop. Marcus's confession, Reddit takedowns, viral edits mocking her Instagram cries. But worst of all, she had no access to Lily. Every call to the school was ignored. Every message to the court, unanswered. And Cole wasn't responding at all. She was invisible, and that terrified her. At the same time, Cole was at a military base, sitting across from a federal investigator from the Department of Defense. The man in the suit had been reading Cole's file for 10 minutes without speaking. Finally, he looked up. "You know why you're here." Cole nodded. 3 months ago, the investigator said, a woman named Rachel Walker submitted a certified death packet through a third-party contractor. Claimed her husband, an active-duty soldier, was Kia. She forged it. We know. He slid a folder across the table. Inside, Rachel's application. Her signature. A fake casualty report. She also submitted a PTSD medical record claiming long-term instability. We traced the psychologist. Suspended license. That's a felony. Is she being charged? Not yet, but soon. Cole closed the folder. Then why call me in? The agent stared at him. Because of the leak. Cole sat up. What leak? Last week, a series of confidential military documents were uploaded online. Some of them included partial details from your file, mission dates, injury reports, deployment history. Cole froze. I didn't leak anything. We traced the IP. It was routed through a private server tied to a consulting firm. Lynn and Morales. Jake's company. The agent leaned in. You've built a public case. We're not judging that. But if you weaponize classified intel, I didn't. Doesn't matter. If your tech guy did, and you benefit from it, you're liable. Cole's jaw clenched. What happens now? Internal Affairs is reviewing it. For now, stay quiet. Let us move first. Cole left the base with something new, doubt. Not in his mission, but in the people around him. Back in the van, he confronted Jake. You used base records for those Reddit leaks? Jake blinked. I blurred the sensitive stuff. The rest was just personnel logs. You used restricted logs, man. Now they're threatening to open a security case. Jake scoffed. You're telling me she didn't fake your death and steal $500,000? And I'm the problem. Cole didn't answer. He just grabbed the drive and walked out. That night, Tessa showed up at his motel with worse news. Rachel filed a harassment counterclaim. She's flipping the story. Says you leaked private footage to shame her. She filmed herself. She's accusing you of spying. Says the footage was taken without consent, inside her home. Technically, that's a legal gray area. Depends on whether you were still on the deed. I was. Until she sold it using a forged power of attorney, Tessa replied. Which, again, is still under review. Cole leaned against the wall. So now I'm the villain again? No. But the press moves faster than the court. And she just hired a media lawyer. The next day, Rachel made her boldest move yet. A professional studio video. Well lit. High-res. Clean, tearless delivery. To those who believed in me, thank you. To those who attacked me, I forgive you. I made mistakes, but I was trying to survive abuse. I won't speak about my ex publicly anymore. Not because I'm guilty, but because I need to protect my daughter. I won't let her grow up in a war zone. The comments flooded in. Half sympathy, half hate. It didn't matter. It changed the narrative. Again, Cole watched the video, fists clenched. She wasn't just surviving now, she was adapting. She was evolving under pressure. Like a predator cornered. Then came the real hit. Cole was at the motel when 2 plainclothes detectives showed up. Cole Walker. Yes. You're being served. You've been named in a civil suit. Emotional distress. Unlawful surveillance. Libel. He stared at the paperwork. $1.2 million. Filed by Rachel Walker. Have a nice day, one of the officers said and left. Tessa met him an hour later at a diner, legal pads spread across the booth. She's not trying to win this, Tessa said. She's trying to stall. Flip you into the aggressor. Buy time until her charges fall apart. Can she? If the media sides with her? Yes. Cole didn't speak for a while. Then he said, "We're going to trial." Tessa looked up. "Cole, I'm done playing chess. It's time she gets dragged into the light." Across town, Rachel met with a new player, Clara Ray, media crisis specialist. Sharp, polished, surgically cold. Clara laid out a strategy. We leak your therapy records. Push your trauma narrative. Get ahead of the criminal case. We rebrand you as a misunderstood survivor. You'll lose the nonprofit, but you'll gain public empathy. Maybe even a book deal. Rachel looked uncertain. What about the daughter angle? Clara's eyes gleamed. We make Cole the monster. The ghost who came back from the dead and stalked you. Gaslit your child. Intimidated your partner. That's our story now. But then, someone unexpected flipped the script. Lily's counselor. She filed a sealed statement with the custody judge, detailing her sessions with Lily. Notes included: child says mother lied about father's death. Child shows signs of coached testimony. Recommends shared custody pending parental review. The court unsealed it 2 days later. It hit the press before Rachel could spin it. And this time, people started asking real questions. Cole sat in a quiet bar that night. TV above the bar showed a news crawl. Wife who faked husband's death may lose custody as court releases child counselor's notes. The bartender poured him a drink. Rough week. Cole nodded. You win some, you lose some. Cole didn't smile. He wasn't looking for wins. He was looking for closure. And now, that was finally in reach. The court order hit the internet like a bullet through glass. One line sealed it. In light of testimony from licensed professionals, the court recommends temporary dual custody, with father granted supervised visitation twice weekly. For the first time in over 2 years, Cole was legally allowed to see Lily. But the visit wouldn't happen at home. The court arranged a third-party center, a beige building with bulletproof glass, soft chairs, and walls painted like a children's book. Cole stood at the door 10 minutes early, holding a small box in his hands. Inside, Lily's old charm bracelet. The one she wore every day before he deployed. The one Rachel claimed had been lost in the fire. He never believed that. He found it in a shoebox 2 weeks ago, buried under bills Rachel never paid. Inside a storage unit she forgot she rented, along with dozens of other things she tried to erase. Lily walked in, holding the counselor's hand. She stopped in the doorway, stared. Cole didn't move, didn't speak. He knelt and opened the box. The bracelet sparkled. Lily stepped forward. Slowly, he held it out. She took it, wrapped it around her wrist. And then she hugged him. Tight, like she'd been holding it in. No tears, just breathing. The counselor said nothing. Neither did Cole, because nothing needed to be said. Rachel was watching from the center's glass partition. Silent, arms crossed, teeth clenched so hard her jaw shook. She didn't cry. She didn't storm out. She just watched her lies collapse. Meanwhile, across the city, a new player entered the story. Her name was Captain Janelle Rhodes, retired Army vet, former logistics officer, now working at the nonprofit Rachel used to partner with. She called Cole's burner that night. This is Janelle. I used to run ops for Valor One. You need to hear something. Go ahead. Rachel didn't just fake your death. She forged survivor benefits, backdated records, and she used a man named Howard Vexley to push the papers through our financial office. Cole straightened. That name sounds familiar. Used to work defense contracts. Got fired last year. He was on our board when Rachel joined the speaker circuit. Why are you telling me this now? Because she tried to rope me into a new scheme last year. Wanted me to vouch for an anonymous donor program that would feed into her consulting firm. I refused. She threatened me. Why come forward now? Because I've seen your story. I've seen the videos, the court files, and I realized I've been silent too long. The next morning, Janelle went on record. A 20-minute YouTube interview with a small but respected military watchdog channel. No dramatics, just facts, records, emails. She confirmed Rachel faked not just her husband's death, but multiple donor grants using fabricated veteran connections. The video went viral within hours. This time, the media didn't split sides. It turned hard. Rachel's lawyer called Tessa in a panic. She's being investigated federally. IRS, DOD, and now Valor One's legal team. I'm pulling out. I refuse to represent her if she keeps lying. Rachel was losing everyone. Her lawyer, her income, her narrative, and soon, her freedom. That night, Cole made his boldest move yet. He went live. Not from a studio. Not polished. Just him. Sitting in a quiet room. One camera. One light. My name is Cole Walker. I served 12 years in the Army. 2 combat tours. I came home expecting a life. Instead, I found a lie. My daughter thought I was dead. My wife turned me into a ghost for money. And I stayed silent, at first, because I didn't want to break my child's world. But silence lets liars grow louder. So this is for the ones who've been erased. The dads. The moms. The veterans. The parents pushed out by systems and slander. We're not ghosts. We're not monsters. We're just people who wanted to come home. He didn't name Rachel. Didn't mention the lawsuit. He didn't have to. By morning, the video had 2.4 million views. Comments flooded in. I felt this in my bones. This isn't just his story, it's ours. She ruined everything he had. And he still stood like a man. Rachel's response came 3 days later. Not a video. An arrest warrant. Federal fraud. Wire fraud. False death report. Filing fraudulent military claims. She was booked, fingerprinted, and released on bond the same night. Photos leaked. Mugshot. Pale. Empty eyes. Mascara streaks. It went global. But Cole didn't celebrate. Because victory still had one cost he couldn't ignore. Lily. She was safe, yes. But she was still confused. Still caught between narratives. Tessa warned him. You have the upper hand now. But don't weaponize it. This is where she remembers who protected her, not who punished her mother. He understood. That's why he kept quiet. Then, a letter arrived. Handwritten. No return address. Cole opened it slowly. I don't remember everything, but I remember your voice. I remember the bracelet. I want to see you again soon. Love, Lily. He folded the letter, closed his eyes, and for the first time in months, maybe years, he let out the breath he'd been holding. The courthouse echoed like a cathedral, cold marble, sharp voices bouncing off the walls. Cole sat in the back row of family court, watching lawyers argue about his daughter like she was evidence. Rachel wasn't there. She was under house arrest pending federal trial. But her new attorney was a tall, clean-cut man named Donovan Shaw. PR trained. Smooth as glass. He wasn't here to win custody. He was here to settle. Tessa leaned over and whispered, they're offering joint legal custody. She keeps supervised visits. You get primary rights. No trial. Quiet exit. Cole didn't respond. She's afraid of a full court record, Tessa added. She knows we have the recordings, the affidavits, the IRS trail. If this goes to trial, she'll not only lose Lily, she'll be a national punchline. Again, the judge glanced their way. Mr. Walker, would you like to speak? Cole stood, calm. Still, I want to protect my daughter, not punish her mother. The judge nodded. No one in the courtroom saw his fists clenched behind his back. That night, Cole sat in the motel, watching an old video. It was Lily, age 4, running across the front yard in a Halloween costume, bat wings flapping, plastic fangs crooked. Rachel filmed it. She laughed off-screen. And for one strange second, Cole didn't hear a liar's voice. Just a mother. A woman who was still human, before greed rewrote her soul. He shut the laptop. Tessa's voice rang in his ear. You can end her, or you can end this. Rachel, meanwhile, was drowning in silence. House arrest meant 23 hours a day inside a condo she couldn't afford, with legal bills piling and public opinion colder than ever. No one was defending her anymore. Even her sister stopped answering texts. The only people contacting her now? Tabloids offering money for interviews. She ignored them. Then one message came through. Encrypted, anonymous. I know how to fix this. Take the deal. Walk away, or I start leaking the videos you never deleted. Attached, a still frame from a folder she thought was long gone. The night she staged the crying footage. The dress. The script. The camera. Her hands started shaking. Cole met with Marcus one last time. At a cafe downtown. Neutral ground. Marcus had a lawyer present. Didn't say much. Just signed the papers Cole's team brought. A formal, notarized retraction. A full transfer of any remaining shared assets to Cole's name. And one last thing. I never meant for this to happen, Marcus muttered. Cole nodded. You didn't mean to betray me. You just didn't care if you did. No handshake. No forgiveness. Just the sound of papers sliding across a table. Then came the bombshell. A former Valor One accountant, anonymous, leaked internal emails proving Rachel faked 3 separate survivor claims for families that didn't exist. Cole's wasn't the first, just the most public. By noon, federal prosecutors amended her indictment. She was now facing 18 felony counts. Rachel tried to message Cole. Twice. He didn't answer. But the third time, she sent something else, a video file. He opened it. Rachel. No makeup. Dim light. Just her voice. This isn't an apology. I won't pretend I was a good wife. Or a good person. But I was a mother. And I lied because I was drowning. I saw a way out, and I took it. Then I kept taking. You're better than me. You always were. So if you're watching this, please, don't let her grow up thinking hate is how we solve things. She looked away from the camera. Tell Lily I'm sorry. She clicked stop. Cole didn't respond. He sent the file straight to his lawyer. Let the courts decide what mattered. But he watched it twice. 2 days later, the court signed the custody agreement. Cole got primary rights. Rachel retained supervised visits, if she wasn't in prison by then. The judge offered one last note. Mr. Walker, if at any point you feel these visits harm your daughter's well-being, you may petition to revoke. Cole nodded. He already knew he would. That weekend, he took Lily to the mountains. Just the two of them. A quiet cabin. Pancakes on the stove. Long walks through redwood trees. No reporters. No lawyers. No cameras. At night, Lily sat beside him by the fire. Daddy. Yeah. Are you mad at Mommy? He paused, then shook his head. I was. But not anymore. Will she go away? Maybe. For a while. Lily looked down at her bracelet. She said you were gone forever. Cole stared into the fire. Some people lie because they're scared, he said. But you're not like that. Lily leaned her head on his arm. I know. The federal courthouse buzzed with press vans and long-lens cameras. A thin barricade kept them back, but their questions cut through the morning air like blades. Rachel, are the charges true? Do you regret faking your husband's death? Is this about money or revenge? Where's your daughter now? Rachel kept her head down as she walked in. No sunglasses. No makeup. No publicist. Just her and a defense attorney who looked like he didn't want to be there. Inside, the courtroom was quiet, but full. Reporters. Former donors. Veterans. And in the back row, Cole, sitting straight in a charcoal suit. Lily was at school. Tessa sat beside him. The judge entered. The bailiff called it. United States versus Rachel Walker. Charges include wire fraud, identity fraud, false filing of a military casualty, obstruction of federal documentation, and nonprofit misappropriation. Rachel stood as the indictment was read. She didn't cry. She didn't flinch. Maybe she'd finally run out of performances. Tessa leaned over to Cole. This isn't the sentencing, just the pretrial hearing. They're trying to determine whether she gets bail or gets remanded. What's your guess? She's been out on bond. But after those leaked Valor One emails, it's 50-50. Cole watched as the prosecutor stood. Young, sharp, and ruthless. She wasted no time. Your Honor, we've submitted hard evidence of systematic fraud totaling over $600,000. The defendant forged a military death certificate, then monetized that lie through public speaking events, social media fundraising, and falsified nonprofit ties. We also have sworn testimony from Mr. Marcus Doyle, Captain Janelle Rhodes, and a sealed affidavit from the couple's minor child that shows intentional manipulation. Rachel's lawyer objected, but the judge waved him off. We're not deciding guilt today. We're deciding whether Ms. Walker can be trusted to return to this court. And based on the volume of deception presented, I agree with the prosecution's concern. He turned to Rachel. Bail is revoked. Rachel's mouth opened slightly. Her lawyer whispered something. Too late. The gavel came down. Two marshals stood. Ms. Walker, hands behind your back. They cuffed her as cameras flashed from the hallway. And for the first time since this all began, Cole saw her break. Not on camera. Not for sympathy. Just break. Outside, the press flooded the sidewalk again. Tessa kept her head down. Don't say a word. But one reporter caught Cole's eye. Mr. Walker, do you feel justice was served? He stopped. Only for a second. Then, justice isn't about revenge. It's about truth. And my daughter deserves the truth. He kept walking. That night, Cole went home. Not a motel. Not a borrowed couch. Home. He'd bought a small fixer-upper near the edge of town. Nothing fancy. Just solid walls, clean rooms, and a backyard big enough for Lily to play. He stood in the living room, surrounded by unopened boxes, and finally felt it. The war was over. Not the legal war. Not the headlines. The internal one. The one that started the day Lily said, "You're not my daddy. Mommy says he died in the war." The next morning, Lily ran to the kitchen in pajamas, holding a piece of paper. "Daddy, look. I made this at school." He took it. A drawing. 3 people, holding hands. And above them, in shaky crayon letters, "My family came back." Across the state, Rachel sat in a gray jumpsuit, staring at the wall of a federal holding cell. No phone, no followers, no audience, just silence. A guard passed by with a clipboard. She didn't ask when she was going home, because for the first time in her life, she had no idea what that word meant anymore. 33 days. That's how long it had been since the hearing. Since the cuffs locked around Rachel's wrists and her world, the one built on soft lies and hard greed, collapsed in front of press cameras and marble walls. The news cycle had cooled. The headlines shifted to newer villains. Politicians. Celebrities. Scandals with fresher teeth. But the people who lived through the storm? They were still crawling out of it. Cole Walker didn't need viral sympathy anymore. He needed quiet. The security firm was a concrete box on the edge of town. No windows in the office. No egos in the staff. Just ex-military and private sector guys who wanted a steady paycheck and silence. His friend Ethan, former ranger, ran the place. No questions. No BS. Just trust. Cole spent his days designing threat profiles, testing camera grids, and managing physical breach audits for warehouses and high-risk clients. It wasn't glamorous, but it gave him something he hadn't had in years: structure. More than revenge. More than exposure. This was rebuilding. Something from scratch. No shadows. At home, it was slower. Softer. He bought a modest single-story ranch-style house in a quiet cul-de-sac just 10 minutes from Lily's school. A wide oak stood in the backyard like a sentry. Paint peeled on the garage door. The carpet was dated. The plumbing whined when the washer ran. But it was his. No lies baked into the walls. No ghosts of betrayal in the bedroom. And most importantly, Lily loved it. Her room was lavender now. Purple curtains, glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling. Stuffed animals lined the wall like soldiers on watch. On the second week, they built a bookshelf together. She picked out every title. Books about heroes who didn't need saving. Books about dads who kept promises. Books about truth. On weekends, they planted herbs in old soup cans out back. Cole showed her how to twist the soil, how to water lightly, how roots need time. She listened like it was gospel. When the basil sprouted, She screamed like she'd won the lottery. He hadn't smiled like that in years. But not everything was easy. Nightmares still came. Sometimes for him. Sometimes for her. There were nights she'd knock gently on his door, whisper, "Can I stay here tonight?" He'd always say yes. No hesitation. Because the war was over, but the debris still needed clearing. One afternoon, while sorting unopened mail, Cole found an envelope with no return address. Handwritten, clean pen strokes. Inside was a folded sheet. No name. Just this: "I believed you." I didn't know how to say it then, but I always did. He read it 3 times. The handwriting didn't ring any bells. But it wasn't a stranger's tone. It was someone close enough to know the damage and stay quiet. Maybe Rachel's sister. Maybe an old friend. Maybe one of the moms from Lily's school who smiled to his face but never reached out when the headlines hit. Didn't matter. The message was clear. Not everyone was fooled. Some were just afraid to speak. The call came the next morning. Tessa's voice, steady but different. Warmer. "We got a letter," she said. "From Rachel?" "Yeah." Cole stood up, moved to the window. "What's she want?" "She's waiving her supervised visitation rights." He blinked. Just like that. "Says she doesn't want to confuse Lily anymore." Said, and I quote, "She deserves peace, not courtrooms." There was silence on the line. "But that's not all," Tessa added. "There's more." She included a notarized confession. 10 pages. Timeline. Money trail. Email logs. Names of people who helped file her death paperwork. She submitted a copy to the DA, too. Cole didn't sit. He just stared out the window at the rustling oak in the backyard. She's giving up? Or maybe, Tessa said, she finally realized she already lost. He didn't reply, and that silence said more than words could. That weekend, Cole drove Lily to the coast. They brought peanut butter sandwiches, a telescope, and a notebook to track secret seashell species. The wind was gentle, the beach quiet. Lily ran toward the surf, shrieking with joy as cold water lapped over her shoes. Her bracelet jingled, a charm for each year they were apart. Cole sat on the driftwood bench and watched her spin like the world didn't hurt anymore. Then she stopped, turned, walked back toward him slowly. "Daddy." "Yeah." She looked down at her feet, then back up. "Do you think Mommy still loves me?" He swallowed, then knelt down to her level. "I think she always did," he said. "She just forgot how to show it." Lily didn't cry. She just nodded and ran back to the water. Across the state, in a federal detention facility, Rachel sat in a library, pen moving across lined paper. No makeup, no audience, no escape. Page after page, she wrote, not excuses, but facts. How she used his deployment as a loophole. How she filed under false names. How she burned real pain into a currency. At one point, she stopped, stared at her hands. They were calloused now, not from violence, from consequence. And yet, even in a cage, she found the nerve to write one last thing. Asterisk, tell Lily she doesn't need to forgive me. Just tell her I hope she never has to lie to feel safe. Asterisk, and tell Cole. I thought erasing him would save me. But he's the only thing I ever did that had a soul. Cole never showed the letter to Lily. Not yet. Maybe when she was older. When she asked. Instead, he folded it. Tucked it in a box labeled, Truth, Not for Today. That box held every piece of the past. The forged death certificate. The court transcripts. The mugshot clippings. And the photos from the day Lily saw him through the schoolyard fence and didn't recognize her father. He added the letter, sealed the lid, carried it to the fire pit behind the house. It was twilight. The sky burned violet as he struck the match. One by one, he fed the papers to the flame. The smoke curled like ghosts leaving the earth. And then, what ya doing, Dad? Lily stood barefoot in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. He turned, cleaning the past. She stepped forward. Can I help? He nodded. She ran inside, grabbed the last paper from the box, a photo of Cole in uniform, the one Rachel used in her faked obituary. She handed it to him. No, he said. You do it. She tossed it in. Together, They watched the flames eat the lie, until only truth remained. Later that night, Lily crawled into his bed again. No nightmares this time, just comfort. As she drifted off, Cole whispered, "I didn't survive the war for revenge. I survived to come home to you." The courtroom was full, not with reporters this time, but with people, veterans, single parents, quiet strangers who had followed the story from behind screens and timelines. There were no camera crews, no viral clips waiting to happen, just a final reckoning. A long breath being held by everyone who'd watched this war unfold from the shadows. Rachel Walker sat at the defense table, wrists uncuffed but still chained by the weight of what she'd done. Her face was blank, pale, no more performance left in her. Cole entered quietly, gray suit, no tie, Lily's charm bracelet woven into a leather cord around his wrist, a symbol, not of war, but of survival. He took his seat in the gallery. No lawyer needed. He wasn't testifying, just watching, just witnessing. The judge reviewed the files, stack after stack, page after page of betrayal turned into record. Charges read aloud, one by one. Fraud, wire fraud, false filing of a military death, defamation, child endangerment. Rachel's voice, when she finally stood, didn't shake, but it didn't rise either. "Your Honor," she said, eyes lowered, "I don't want to waste your time. I accept responsibility for everything that's been proven. I accept the sentence. And I ask only that my daughter be allowed to live a life outside of this." The judge nodded once. Brief, tired. "I've read every page of this case," she said, "and I've never seen a deception so layered, so intentional, and so deeply damaging to a child." Silence. "Rachel Walker, you are sentenced to 5 years in federal prison, with 2 suspended for full cooperation and restitution. You are barred from initiating any public monetization of this story, and any future contact with your daughter must be approved by the court." No one applauded, because justice, real justice, doesn't need to be loud. Outside, the sun was sharp and cold. Cole walked down the courthouse steps alone, hands tucked in his pockets. Tessa waited near the curb, already on a call. He nodded to her. She nodded back. Everything else had already been said. He kept walking. 3 weeks later, Lily's school hosted a family day. Picnic tables, finger paint, little cardboard signs that read, "I'm proud of my family," because some kids wrote about siblings. Some wrote about pets. One kid wrote, "My family is loud, but they love me anyway." Lily said, "I'm proud of my family because we made it back." Cole watched her from the grass, sunglasses on, coffee in hand. He wasn't the loudest dad. He didn't try to blend in. But he was there, fully. That's all she ever needed. And as she ran to him, ponytail swinging, smile wide, he bent down and caught her mid-jump. One arm around her back, one future still unwritten. And this time, it belonged to them. She called him broken, but he built something unbreakable. Now let me ask you something. From where are you watching this story today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. I'd love to know who's out there. If this story moved you, if you felt something real while watching it, go ahead and like the video. It means a lot. And if you know someone who's been through pain, betrayal, or loss, share this with them. They might need it more than you think. And if you want more stories like this, raw, real, powerful, make sure you subscribe. More is coming. Thanks for watching.